Victory Monday, Tampa Bay. That is what's up. The Aftermath 102.9, the game Broad Street South radio in the house. I hope you guys are ready for some damn buck talk because we can talk that shit because we are the winners. But first, let's get this intro banger started. Hit That's right. Yes. How about that Buccan? EERS, go Bucs. Buccan, go Bucs. What's good, everybody? What's up? Again, this is the Aftermath on 102.9, the Game Broad Street Radio. It is another great episode. You got your boy right here, AJ Turn Up in the house. Got my man, Coach Slick, the British guy who's always fly on standby. He's the guy to keep the eye on. What's up? How you doing, Slick?
It's Victory Monday, dude. We're just sitting back. We're enjoying. We're getting the Aftermath back on. This is like the proper Aftermath. This is what Aftermath was meant for. You know, we've been Aftermath in news. Now we're Aftermath in the games, which is why this was always invented. Have you had a chance to rewatch the game, or have you just kept with what you've seen?
Oh, no, I've rewatched the game 4 times already. I saw so many things, but the first shout-outs I got to give a shout-out to Peter King talking all that shit. Now and then I got to talk to Chris Sims. I got to talk to everybody on NFL Network. Kurt Warner and them. I thought we was homies.
Nah, Kurt Warner, he's bitter.
Yep, shout out to Gerald McCoy. My man understood and knew that the Bucs would win this game. And for all you other sports media people out there who think you know football, you got to understand you don't at this point. If you really thought the Vikings were just going to walk in and just the way that they said they was going to flat out beat the Bucs was damn near just disrespectful. Like this Bucs defense isn't still deadly as you saw already. As you already know, your damn quarterback is not Kurt. I'm going to fuck it up one time, Cousins. Why you think Justin Jefferson was sitting there at the end looking like a lost, sad puppy dog?
Yeah, pouting, that boy was pouting.
He was like, I'm so glad I didn't sign that extension. I need to get that. Or he's like, I'm going to have to go to the owners and say, he got to go. Oh, and then another person, dumbass Antonio Brown, lost 120 stacks betting against the Bucs. Look, when you go against the Bucs, it's not always going to be in your favor. The old days of the losing mentality, that shit's in the past. That's done. It's over. We got a squad. You're going to put some respect on it. And before I even get on my rant, we're going to break down why the Bucs won, what they did, what could be done better, and the overall big picture. Because now after the first week, the biggest questions that I've heard when people talk, who is the contender for the NFC? And we'll get to the end of that. We'll break that shit down because I saw a lot of things that give the Bucs hope. Buck fans, you should be excited about this team. You should be ecstatic. I know it's just week 1, but remember, we went into an environment where we were 5.5 underdogs. They thought that they were just going to walk in and beat your beloved Bucs. Like just and all the shit talking about Baker. He actually did the best in the NFC South. Your boy Derek, your boy Carr, and Ritter, and Young. I already told you all about that. But let's just first of all, let's get into our game. Now, what was your assessment, Slick? I want you to comment. I'm gonna calm myself because I'm just too hype. Articulate it, my man.
Well, is there anything particular you want me to break down, or
yeah? Let's talk about this. The first half, offense and defense. Let's start off with the offense first.
Okay, offensively, we were poor. Is the nicest way we can put it. We miscued. It felt like a quarterback was getting his feet wet, and it felt like an OC getting his feet wet. And it wasn't until time kind of got round that, and it was really weird because both the OC and the quarterback were in sync with each other, being out of sync. You know what I mean? It was like once one had confidence, the other one had confidence, and added more. So it was disappointing. We were very free and out. We were very lethargic to look at. It was a bit. It wasn't fun to watch. I remember turning to my wife saying, "If we don't figure this stuff out soon, and I know it's week 1, this could be a long season because I don't know if this defense can keep stopping and keep stopping and keep stopping because it grinds down a defense after a while." But they did a great job. But yeah, offensively we were poor up until we had the first score on the door, which was the Mike Evans touchdowns. We did miss out, however, on a O'Keefe touchdown, which I didn't think he needed to go for. I think there was an other player that was wide open in K. Dotton, who was just within he would have been in the peripheral vision, but this was completely, I think it was a designed play to go to O'Keefe. And I understand why. He's the guy that no one's going to expect to get the ball. And he's made catches here and there for this team, and he has a bit of, grittiness about him that he'll try and force for the first down, or he'll try and force for the goal line to force himself over the goal line and score. Mm-hmm. I just felt that there were other players that would probably make better plays, or probably make more elongated plays, or more safer hands. But this guy's not known for hands. You go to K. Dotton, you're probably going to get a little bit more out of the thing. What about yourself, AJ? What did you first think of the first half?
The first thing that I would like to say is that I think Canales, he went through what we call the first few jitters, because I can clearly see that the play calling, he was winging it at first. I sensed that he was just guessing. Like you said, he was going by, this guy's going to be under the radar, but there's a reason he's under the radar, because Keith is known for being a better blocker, not a pass catcher. He doesn't have the swift, fluid moves like Otten. And first off,
he's a bit jerky, isn't he?
Yes, he's very jerky. And then now this is what I will say, and I told people this earlier. I was at first with the offensive play calls, I was getting Byron-esque energy. Now somebody said, "Oh, he can't be that bad," but I said, you're bad when you don't believe in your players. I think in the beginning, Canales was more concerned that, hey, I don't want to force anything to Evans or Godwin, to my primary guys, because I don't want to get a turnover. But you cannot have that kind of mentality, because that is what's going to happen to your offense. You're going to sputter out, and then you're going to make it harder on your defense. Now, thank God that the Bucs defense was so overwhelming, and early they took advantages by keeping the momentum away from Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was under duress. Now, I know we only saw a little bit of it, but Cansey in the beginning was all over the place. In the early first quarter, Cansey was giving them hell, because we've talked about this. You have to double beat him. Otherwise, it's an insult. Cansey was getting there. Kurt was very under a lot of duress. And we already have to say it, Antoine Winfield, that is our elite safety. He was making things hard, especially in the blitz. He has Rondé-esque intelligence of blitzing. He's not the fastest or he's the strongest. He just knows he's a for sure tackler, and he knows how to hit the holes. So Kirk in the beginning was under duress, and he was throwing to get the ball away. But the offense and the run game, I think Rachaad White has got to understand. He was giving me Leonard Fournette-esque energy, not hitting the holes. You don't have to maneuver too much. Sometimes when there isn't a hole there, you make one yourself. Because if you do that, that's when the run game is not effective. That's when, instead of getting 2nd and 6, it'll be
ride the blocker. That's what I've always done. Would always do.
Right. Yeah,
ride the blocker's ass. So if the blocker's going your blocker's going this way, you're gonna ride his ass and go that way.
That's right.
Or at least stay connected to him up until you can feel a hand touch someone trying to get around you, and then you can just slip off. You do that whole where you get the hand out on the ass, on the cheeks, and then just basically reading their ass. If they go that way, you're going this way. Follow the leader kind of thing.
Exactly.
Defensively, we got 9 quarterback hits and 2 sacks, which I felt like it was more when I watched that game. It felt like a lot more, but I think it's those quarterback hits. And of course, he fumbles twice as well.
Yeah.
Really, really nice stuff. And it was Antoine Winfield, probably the premier pass rusher. Realistically, Anthony Nelson gets himself one. Surprised they didn't share that one with Yaya, because they were both on him, but It is what it is.
Well, Anthony Nelson, the way he manhandled him with that one arm, I was like, yes, in that spin, and then he pushed him off. Anthony Nelson is an underrated gem on this team.
I probably could.
Yaya was doing good too. JTS, I need to get more out of him, but
I
I'm not
think
gonna.
this was a game where his speed, like they were, their O line was conditioned towards a speedy guy. They
Yes,
weren't conditioned towards the power. I just
exactly.
kind of get, because he was nullified quite quickly. He was nullified quite quickly off my eye test.
Yeah,
Other people might disagree, but yeah, he came across to me as very nonchalant. Like he didn't really have a lot in this game. But the others who are more, rather than using speed, they use a combination of speed and they've got. I feel the other two have a more robust skill set,
yes,
and I think that's what he needs to develop. He needs to develop. We've always said if that guy can control his hips, control
yep,
his own ass, because speed comes from one thing. It comes from your ass and thighs, your low center of gravity. If you can displace your low center of gravity, you are quick because you are
yep,
able to change direction incredibly quickly. And that's what he's got to be able to learn. He needs to learn to be able to really ram in that speed and be able to dial it back and flip it back to the other side. And then he will be a match. He could have the potential to be an absolute matchup nightmare. But that wasn't to be, and it doesn't matter. It's still this Buccaneers team. I didn't see Shaq that often, to be honest. I think they're still blooding him in as well. I don't think they went balls to the walls with him. I'd have to look at the snap counts on that. But this defense was very much in your face. The one thing that did worry about me, the defense, is we gave a lot of air yards. Now, it is Justin Jefferson, and it is expected. And it does feel like they sussed him out later in the game. Halftime adjustments were fantastic with this team.
yes, they were.
Honestly, it looked like a completely different team that had come out.
Yes,
What
they
was it
were.
when it did we go in 10-7?
10. I think it was 10. 10-10.
10-10.
I have to check, but yes, you are absolutely right. I'll say this in the beginning
Yes,
of the
10
first.
apiece.
Yep. In the first half, I think with Baker, when it came to the passing, the way that he was throwing, especially deep shots, it's a different type of passing. He throws it to where he wants it to go over. He wants the receivers to kind of like extend. Because the play that I saw with Evans, the deep shot, I think had he'd have thrown it to where Evans could just do a jump ball situation, he might have been able to get it better because I think Evans had to position himself. Now, I do think he still has to catch it, but that was a situation where if you just throw it to where Evans has to just jump up and get it, he
Yeah,
would have had
Evans is
a catch.
more of this catch rather than a this.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Let
he
him.
can do those. He can do those, but he is known for he turns around and flips up and gets. He's like
Right.
sky the ball. Honestly, if Mike Evans ever wants to run his own clothing line, you got the jump man. You're gonna have the Evans man of him just like that
Exactly.
because
And that's what,
that boy's MO.
and that's what it was with the Keith catch throw because the way he threw it, I'll tell people this: had he'd have thrown it like a seam pass, and where all Keith had to do is catch it this way and turn and go, it still would have been a touchdown because Keith
Mm-hmm.
would have had the speed because he was wide open. But when he threw it over, of course, I still think that Baker was a little jittery.
Yeah, there was too much adjusting to that catch, and I think
Yes,
you would need a better receiver to come down with that ball than someone like Cookie.
yes, that's a Godwin or a Palmer or an Otten. Those guys is who you would throw it to like that. That you would need that. And yes, let's see the comments. I know yes, Izzy was my MVP of the game. Ben Cornett, shout out to you. Dude was balling out and took the ball away late in the
Ripped
first half.
that ball straight out of that guy's thing. He had
Yes,
that ball caught, and he just kind of went, "I got a ball," and he went, "No, you don't.
yes,
No,
and
you don't."
I tell people this all the time because they were talking shit. Well, you see that hit, Justin Jefferson? It was a blindside hit. First of all, that happens in football, but you're not talking about the interception.
Did he
And
get the ball? Did he knock the ball out?
nope,
So what are we talking about? Don't get me wrong.
right.
I respect him for his hit. That's a good hit.
It
That's a
was a
good
good
hit.
hit. It's a
It's a
good
good
hit.
hit. But it's football.
And he got,
Well
but he
done.
got
You made a
back
tackle.
up. And he got
Well
back
done.
up. Yep.
He got
And
back up. Like it's not like you put him on his ass. You put him on his ass. He got back up. He's a rookie. He just
exactly.
picked you off and took your team out of scoring position. That
And to
could have
be
been the knockout punch for the Vikings had that
and
gone in.
I thought that was a bad throw anyway for Cousins. It was too much traffic. If I'm a receiver, I'd be like, Kurt, what the hell? Are you trying to get me killed out here? Because the Bucs were hitting. And I'll give this another shout to Levante David and Devin White. Devin White, I told you already.
Really good game.
Didn't I say he
Really good game.
He was, and it was not just that.
Lead tackler.
Yes, and his precise position to know where things were going to be. I think like Levante might have schooled him because that was Levante-esque energy I saw from Devin that I haven't seen in a long time. They were just
still had that kind of like you could see he was chatting, could see he was enjoying it. When he went down a little bit, I was a little bit okay. This could be a little bit worrisome, but if worse comes to worse, they'll put in past Savassier. In the end, they ended up putting KJ Britt. This is probably them thinking we don't want too many rookies on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't really want to be sat there with Isian. Logan Hall's not a rookie. Potentially Kansi, Yaya Diaby, and Savassier Dennis.
Yeah,
all at the position, all out there on the field. So that does kind of make you dial it back and go, maybe we put in a bit more experience here. And
I agree. Hold on, Ben, there you go again. Evans with the TD and 66 yards. Not to be a downer though, he did drop a pass that could have been a TD on a slant route. Absolutely,
I don't think that is a. I've said this before. He has a very specific skill set, and it is not fucking slants. I'm not saying he can't catch a slant. I'm just saying if you're going to throw Mike Evans a ball, don't make it be a slant. He's got a very specific skill set, which is why that's why people dug on him, because his route tree isn't the sexiest. It's not expansive. It's not wide. It's not like Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin can run the lot.
Yep.
It's not an excuse. It just is what it is. That's been his MO. It's like someone turning around and go, well, Mike Evans doesn't get yak. No, he never has. It's just what he does. It's like turn around saying Tom Brady can't make a no-look pass. Well, right. Okay.
And Ben, if that's the case,
if they can't do it, they can't do it.
And Ben, if that's the case, are you going to say that about Randy Moss? He was a 1 to 2 kind of position receiver. Moss wasn't a well-rounded guy. Moss wasn't going up in the slot. He wasn't doing slants.
Mike should have come down with it. I just think there could have been a better route on that.
Yes, and that's
I'd have gone with an in breaker rather than like a true in, like a 5 and in, rather than a full-on slant. Because a slant I don't think I've ever seen Mike Evans catch many slants.
Well, I would have just done a full throw over. He didn't have. I was actually surprised. The Vikings, they doubled Evans, but not as much as I thought that they would. The one beautiful thing, and Rick Hughes on Bucs Live said this on the pregame. The Vikings did not know what to expect from this Bucs offense, and that's what was lovely about it, because they didn't know. If you look at it,
we don't know how this guy they don't know how this guy calls games.
Nope.
So I'd say you've got like 3 games where people can start to work out how we want, and we're still figuring out how we. No, I agree with you, Ben. The catch has to be made. I just don't think it's the best play for Mike Evans. He still should have come away with the ball. He should have still reeled that in. I just thought, of all the routes you could have thrown him the ball on, you probably ran him on his probably worst route that I've ever seen. The worst route I've ever seen him rarely catch anything. But you're absolutely right. He should catch that. It was in his hand. He bobbles it. But we know Mike Evans is not known for being the slightest of hand of all wide receivers. He does have a habit of dropping more than most.
Yeah, and it happens. And but again, Canales will find a way to design plays where you do things that's best for your receivers. Like I said, everybody know with Randy, you did a go route because he's going to make things happen. You didn't make him run the short intermediate routes all the time because that's not his gift. Everybody has a gift of what they do. It's just because you're not a well-rounded receiver doesn't mean you're the best. Tyreek Hill's main thing is a slot, run up a crossing route, or just a go route. That's his gift, and that's what makes him special because he specializes that with his speed. But everybody knows the weakness to stop him is two safeties deep, and then get a guy to jam him up, and then put something underneath him to where that crossing shit is ineffective. So everybody has a weakness. But let's get back to the offensive play calling. You could clearly see the adjustments. Canales and them came into their own in the second half, and the Vikings were really in trouble. If you look at it, the Vikings were blitzing a lot because in the rollouts, people were like, oh, the line isn't doing anything. The line actually did not play a bad
I
game.
had no problem with this line.
No, the line.
I don't remember many holding calls being called off the top of my head. I mean, I'd have to relook at it just to like get like a penalties tally. But I don't remember having one of those for fuck's sake moments, which we had on a regular basis. So only 3 penalties on the Bucs yesterday. That we don't know how many of those would have were on the O line, but that's a good thing. Like we gave up 1 sack, and I looked at their pressures, and their pressures were 2. So they got 2 quarterback hits and 1 sack.
Mm-hmm. And
compared,
that 1 sack
compared to our 2 sacks and 9 quarterback hits.
Yep. And we were getting constant pressure. But if you look at it, they started settling down. And the Evans touchdown was superb, because if you look at it from the route running perspective, he beat those guys. He beat the corner and the safety. And there was it was so crisp. And then I think that's when Baker was comfortable to throw it over, and it was a perfect pass. And that was beautiful. Then I tell people the drive of the game was not in the fourth quarter. The drive of the game was when we opened up in the second half of the third quarter, when we chewed 9 minutes. I was impressed.
Oh man, that second half went so quick.
Yep.
It was insane. Like I looked up that they had the second drive, and it's like, we're going into the fourth quarter. And I'm like, what the? 2 drives, we're into the fourth quarter? What?
It was literally body shot, and then we threw the uppercut. That Palmer play was so good. I tell people, go back and watch Palmer run across the field. I saw that in live. I was like, oh my God, Palmer's wide open, because he flew across. The defense, the Vikings secondary was actually doo-doo. It was just the simple fact that Canales started realizing, oh wow, because you know what I realized Canales started doing? He did something that Byron's dumbass couldn't do with the Steelers. Wait a minute. These guys can't cover my receivers. So let me get certain passes open. Let me start mixing shit up. And then Canales realized Evans and Godwin are your go-to guys. They will make things happen for you. And now you don't have to worry about being nervous. I think the second half, Canales realized, I got Mike Evans and I got fucking Chris Godwin. Let me utilize them. And that's what he did. And shout out to Bowles with the adjustment, because Justin Jefferson, despite having 150 yards,
I think he was more than 90 yards going into the half. Then I think he went away with
12.
It was more than 90. He ends up finishing the game with 150 with no touchdowns, and that's all she wrote. And Carlton Davis was struggling, and I think they just couldn't work out what worked. And then I said in post I think it was not post game. I think I said in one of my videos that I did at halftime is what I would do is probably get him. Don't put it all on. Don't put it all on CD3. Let him jam. Have someone like not Devin, obviously. Let someone Levante play underneath of it, and let someone like Neil clamp down on it.
Yes.
So then you've got 3 layers he's got to get through. So you're kind of triple covering him, but you're not. So if you're going to go zone coverage, which they did use quite often, if you're going to go zone coverage, I would put someone like I'd probably play a roll 3, which is basically your 2 safeties are going deep. Your 2 safeties going deep, and one of your corners is going deep. The other corner, which would be the corner that would be on Justin Jefferson, would play the flats. So he can be as handsy as he wants. Yes. He's playing the flats. It doesn't matter if he gets beat. All he has to do is play hands, and sink. And he can sink underneath it. And as he's sinking underneath it, he's just reading what's in front of him. If a guy comes out, he can come down on it. If a guy's starting to break out, he can come down on it. If there's nobody there, he just keeps going underneath. So he's an extra defender underneath then. That's how I would have played it. I don't know if that's exactly what they did, because obviously you don't see the entire field. They show you what's happening. Yeah. So you don't always see the whole thing. I'll have to look at the coaches 22, but that was kind of my vibe of what I would have done to address it. But whatever they did, it worked, and the pressure was consistent all the time. That guy was under pressure. We seen in that documentary, he doesn't like to get hit. And we know no quarterback likes getting hit. But this guy's had some broken bones and broken this and broken that, and he's had to, the cold tub. That boy needed a cold tub after this. He probably weren't coming up for air. I'm not coming back up. I'm staying under. He like he was like Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic. I'm staying under. I'm not going back up. It's
Yes,
just
well,
little pipes for air, like.
yeah, and the another thing about Kurt, and he doesn't want to admit it, but I can see it in his actions. Kirk has a very big ego as well. A lot of people don't want to say that, but he does. When he threw that interception and the frustration he showed, if I was the coaches, that was your fault. You threw that pass. You threw it in traffic. That was completely on you. You had no business doing that. First of all, you damn near got your receiver tore up. Um, Kirk Cousins, he doesn't like to take the accountability on his own faults, and he will blame other people when it's in his mind, well, I'm having a good game, I'm cruising, and that's not the case. I'm going to show you something. You already know what's about to come out. 1 second. Look here.
Here it comes.
Look here, damn it. This is it. Stop that shit. Stop that. If you look at all the big plays that if the Bucs would have been more man press, I'm telling you this right now, and I'm telling you because if the proof was in the pudding, the Bucs would have blown out the Vikings. And here's why. If they don't give them that much cushion all the time, Justin Jefferson was running free throughout the middle of the field with a crossing route. That Addison thing, I think the safety, we got to talk about that. But
I completely agree with you about the cushion. I don't think you can play press the whole game because the problem with press is, think of it like offensive line versus defensive line. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And the problem is when you lose some at DB, it's big. Yes. Because it's a touchdown. So that's why you want to use it in places. Like I'd use it on a first down. I'd maybe use it on first down because there's a high percentage of a run, so it doesn't matter. They're just going to get off the block and be an extra man in the run game. Yeah. And then maybe on a third and short because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. But it's all to do with philosophy, you know. Yeah. But I don't like it. I think the one for me that I don't like is seeing it as second down. I can kind of get it more on third and a bus ride. Like it's third down and 10 yards to go. I get that. I get kind of sitting at the sticks. But realistically, we can't do that on second down.
I get you.
You're making third. You're creating third and manageable because all I gotta do is throw a hitch. All I gotta do is throw a hitch, and it's third and manageable. I've already got. Even if it was 2nd and 10, I throw a hitch. It's gonna be set. It's gonna be 3rd and 5. AJ, you there? Okay, well, AJ sorts himself out. I will continue. So, with this Buccaneers football team, as it is, it might be me who's frozen. Who knows? But with this Buccaneers football team, the way we've been playing, we started off poor. Defense kept us alive, and we just kept rolling. We kept rolling, and we kept rolling, and we kept rolling. This Buccaneers team didn't give up. We can lean on this defense. We've been saying all season long, this defense is only 3 players theoretically removed from the Super Bowl team. There's no Sue, there's no JPP, and there's no Jordan White. We've replaced that with Neal, who is a very good safety. We've replaced that. Now, we haven't replaced JPP because I don't think JPP is replaceable. Not yet. I haven't seen anybody step up to the plate and do it. And then finally, we've got Kalijah Cansey coming in to step in for Ndamukong Suh. We had to go young. We couldn't keep having these older guys on the team. So AJ's back with us. I wasn't sure if it was you or me, so I just carried on. Just wait for you to get back in.
No, you're fine. That was some craziness happened, but technical error. But yeah, finish up what you were saying about. I know what you were saying about the man press. Only reason my philosophy would not have been all game because you're right. If Carlton Davis gets tired and Justin beats him, it's a wrap. I just say in the beginning, beat him up a little bit and mix it up. Then you can put Dean
I think that's what they
side.
tried to do and they struggled, but I think they have to figure out. I think we know one thing about Coach Bowles is he likes to rotate a lot of different things and a lot of different looks just to see what's working. Yes. As I said in the post game, and I've said this before to you, between you and you, sometimes I feel that this really like almost, I would say, argue it's almost like having four safeties, because that's what it basically is, right? Because they're at 9 yards off or whatever. Sometimes I'm thinking, is this him playing chess and he's looking at those routes, because those routes didn't exist later on in the game.
No.
So I'm like, is he playing like a level of chess where he's like, I'm gonna let you get your third downs. I'm gonna let you get this. I'm gonna let you get that, because I get to see what you like to run on third down. I get to see what you like to run on first down. I get to see the full true route. Whereas if you're pressing, you have no idea what that route actually is, because they're adjusting to the pressure that's being put on them. But of course, you need to know if your guys can handle the wide receiver. So if he goes, okay, we're going to press it a couple of times. We're not going to press. We're going to play a naught. We're going to play it standard level with about 5 yards off or what have you. And then you take that information and you go, right, how did our guys do? Well, Colton Davis can just about handle his guy. Probably needs a little bit of help intermediately, but he can handle his guy there. Okay, cool. So now we're going to rotate that in. What routes do they like to run? Oh, well, they run this, they run that, they run this, we run that. Okay, cool. Now we know what's the common denominator here. They do this. Awesome. Then you can turn around and go, guys, this is what they're doing. They're basically running this.
Yep.
And then you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. Let's kill it.
You're right. And I guess I'm the old school type of person.
No, I'm the same. I don't like being too off. It's just something that kind of popped into my head. I'm like, you get to see the true route. I don't even know if that's what he's doing. I really don't. And I'm not saying it is, but I just get a vibe. I wondered. It just popped into my head one day, and I'm like, you get to see the full route. Like, no one can argue what they're running. You can't say, oh, it looked a bit like a slant. Because once you have some contact, once you have some touching, they're not running a crisp route anymore. They're running an adjusted route.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only gamble that we have with that, in my opinion, is you're putting
early, you're fucked.
Yeah, and you're putting a lot of pressure on your offense. I look at it like this, Bowles. You can do that if you want to, but let's say if your defense mess up and give up 7, you better be sure your offense has to at least get 3 or batch, because if you continue to do that, it's going to get to a point. That's what happened to us with the 49ers game last season. It became a snowball effect. And then if I always say this, if a team gets up double digits by the first quarter, you're already looking at a blowout. Even if it's 10-0, now the defense can pin their ears back and go after an offense that is still trying to find their identity.
Yeah, I would say this just to recap about if I ever if Coach Bowles is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and I get somehow credentialed for a game next year and I'm allowed in that is a question I will ask, because I will mark it down how many times they did on first down, how many times they did on third down, and how many times they did on second down. And I just say, can you explain your thought process? And I will give them my theory, and I'll just wonder why.
Yeah, me too. And
I'm a big believer. If you can explain why, then I can get on board with it more. And I'm not saying he needs to explain everything he needs to do, but it's one of those things. I know you get frustrated with it. I can get frustrated when we give up plays on it. I don't care if it works. When it works, I don't give a shit. We're 9 yards off, but they completed a 3-yard pass and they ran it to 6 and it was third down. I'm okay. I'm fine with that. It's when it's killing us. That's when I have a problem. And at times it did, especially with Justin Jefferson, because you're allowing Justin Jefferson to basically run 6 yards completely at his own will, and he can do whatever he wants to do with his body.
Yeah, now I will say this. He's one of the most fluid receivers I've ever seen, because when he catches it, he just knows how to turn his body quick, and he's a good yak kind of guy, and he's also a good catcher in traffic as well. So he still has the potential to be an elite guy. He played his ass off, but the most important thing that the Bucs did was keep him out of the end zone. Yep. And I think that was another reason why he's frustrated. Jefferson, it has a winner mentality. He wants to win. For him, he wants touchdowns. Now, if he can get both, he will, but he wants those touchdowns. He's like, I need a touchdown so I can put this game away. I think Addison was doing well, but I told people don't get too excited, because that second half, Addison was far more invisible than Justin Jefferson. Dean and them put the brakes on him. And then Hawkinson, I told people, because they was like, he could be the secret weapon. I'm like, nah, Levante will clear that out. And if you watch, Levante was all over him, and so was Devin White. But another guy, again, Vita Vea, one of the biggest things that I've seen, he's gotten faster. There was a play where the running back came out of the ball, and Vita turned around and caught up to the damn running back and grabbed him with one arm and threw him. I said, damn. Vita Vea is a monster, and this line is only going to get better. This team has the potential, especially on defense. They did so much, and that's where you, like you said, I want to ask Bowles, why do you do this? Because I tell you this, without those big plays, the Vikings don't get over 10 points. The Vikings came in unprepared because they didn't know how to handle. First, they didn't know what the offense was going to do, but they didn't know how to handle this defense. If you look at it, for the most part, they were just banking on Jefferson just beating CD3 for just touchdowns, but that wasn't working. And Antoine was making great tackles. There was a play where Justin Jefferson got wide open, and Antoine Winfield made a safe tackle, and he jumped up and was frustrated. The Bucs defense knows how to beat you. Like you said, we are a chess piece team, because I will say this: Bowles and Canales, they both adjusted. That second half, that was an entire different team. It seems like when the Bucs really want to be a second
credit
half,
to the adjustments, man. We haven't seen a team. Well, I say we haven't seen a team. Of course, we've seen a team, but it was nice to see this team do it
yes,
without Tom Brady, because we're no longer Tom Brady's Bucs. We're not the Buccaneers with Tom Brady. We're not the
nope,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers or whatever they want. All that crap, that's all gone. This is Tampa Bay now. This is how we do it. But I'm going to ask you a question, AJ. Give me 3 moments in the game, whether they're good or give me 3 good moments. Give me 3 bad moments in the game where you were like, you oohed and you went, you wooed and you
yes,
wooed and you went, oh.
yeah. I'm gonna give you the first 3. Oohs, like damn it. I'm not gonna lie. What play was it? The first the play where we were running and Rashad White was not hitting a hole. There was literally, if he looks up and cuts to the left, he at least picks up 20 to 30 yards, because the Vikings side was way on the right hand when he could have just cut left. Now the second one that made me frustrated was when and I know these might be small people, but these are big things. When Baker missed a wide open pass to Palmer, he literally threw it to where Palmer had to turn his body, when all Baker had to do is just lob the damn thing, and it's a touch, and it might be a touchdown with his speed. The third, was the Addison touchdown. I don't know whose mistake that was, but it just looked like a piss poor broken coverage. The corner just let him have his way. I think Neal, our safety, he just let him go past him. Unacceptable. Because then that's when the Vikings started talking shit at the bar, like, yeah, Addison, he's that guy. I'm like, nah, he just got a busted play. Now let's get to the good stuff. That Evans touchdown was fucking sweet. It was sweet because I told you, when I went back and saw the play and Evans made that move, good God. And then my other one was the Nelson thing, the Nelson sack, because the way that he maneuvered, it gave me Shaq Barrett-esque energy. He didn't just beat him physically, but he
He
also
looked like
beat
a
him
little snake in the
on
grass, didn't he? Slithering to his guys.
yeah, yes. And then of course my favorite is when Baker ran on the first on to get that first down. Now, if he was Tom Brady and that dude tackled him like that, that would have been a flag. But I told people this, like, I said this already. His duality is what this team needs. And he won the locker room with that play right there. If you saw the sideline, they were jumping. So that's when I knew Baker is willing to sacrifice himself, and he's on an offense that this type of his running is going to make big plays. Don't be surprised next week in Chicago when plays break down and he improvises. Troy Palmer beat somebody for a 70-yard touchdown. Watch. So those were my big 3 moments on the oohs and the oh shit. So yes. A bonus one is Vita Vea tackling, running and grabbing people. When his
No, no,
pursuit, there was a play where he was that shit when he ran, you got to go back and see that. He ran and grabbed a running back, and threw his ass to the ground. I'm like, Derwin James, who? Derwin James, who? Nah, we got Vita Vea. We drafted Vita Vea. Who got the ring? Vita.
Vita's
Damn
got.
right. What about you?
So I go
What
with
about you?
my.
What were your?
I will go with the first throw to O'Keefe in the first drive. So that the one that they try to get a first down out of, and it just pops up. It's a bad throw. It's a bad route. It's everything is bad about it, and I'm like, oh my god, this better not be. And then I will go with the missed touchdown, also by O'Keefe. And then my final one, it's not necessarily a bad play. It's just unlucky is when Vita Vea takes out Levante David by and it's just one of those. It just happened. I was like, ooh, no, please don't tell me we've lost a guy. But my oohs and my ahs, I will go with one that I really liked. It was when Baker wasn't playing too well, and this guy goes to take his head off, and he just ducks down, and the guy goes straight over the top of him. Now, in the end, I don't think the play came too much, but I just liked the fact that it humored me a little bit, and I was like, oh, bless. He had a little bit of a run around, I think, as well. So I enjoyed just seeing that. Of course, the Mike Evans touchdown. But the Trey Palmer one was the cherry on top, so to speak. Mainly because this guy's a fifth-round draft pick. The fifth-round draft pick makes a play that helps you win the game. A fifth round, sixth round, I'm not. Give me a second, I'll find out.
Sixth round. He's a sixth round from Nebraska. Nebraska. Yes. Now, I know we keep bringing him up again, but I'm doing this for a reason. Baker Mayfield showed you what this offense has the potential to be. He played with heart and duality, and when he ran for that first down, that's when I know this offense is going to be something slick. Because Brady, I'm not going to lie. We played this game with Brady with this team, we would have lost. I say that because a lot of times when they were blitzing, Baker was getting out of there. He was scrambling.
He took so many hits. Like he let them come to me. He's like, okay.
Yep. And
that's when I was like, this guy's got nuts. This guy's got nuts.
And that pass to Rachaad White, the guy was in his face, and he maneuvered through the trenches and tossed that shit. That is what the Bucs were missing last season, intensity. He's going to play with whoever. This guy said, I know I don't know you, but I'm believing you. I'm with you. We're going to get this done. That's what made the Vikings frustrated because they didn't know what to do. If we had those blitzes with Brady last year, we would have been sunk because Brady's going to fall. And no disrespect, but I don't blame Brady at that time. He's 45 years old. He can't take a hit like Baker. Baker's like 29 years old or some shit, 20, 26, 28 or something. He can take that.
27, 28.
Yeah, 27, 28. So he can take those hits. And that's why I love how all of a sudden the media – this is how much love your Bucs got, Slick. This is how much they got. They hardly talked about the Bucs win today. They know it was just, oh, yeah, the Bucs upset. Just the Bucs upset the Vikings. No. We're going to talk about this. The same team that you guys were like slurping up. Oh, the Vikings can do this to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers
will get 2 wins this season, I heard as well.
Yeah, 2 wins. Yeah, right. 2 wins. But
we're already halfway there, dude. We're already halfway there.
We're halfway there. So the disrespect, and I like this. I want the media to keep doing this, Slick, because you know what? We might get a call from one of these guys. Stephen A. or Shannon and them, look, I'm speaking this in existence because we know what the Bucs are capable of. So what happens, and I know I'm talking out my ass right now, guys, but what if by the bye week the Bucs are 4-0 and then they go on this game? Imagine this, Slick. How would you be if the Bucs by week 8 or something are like 7-0? I know that's unrealistic, but
I mean,
how would you?
I'm gonna have to look at our schedule just to see who we got to get through to get to that point. So we're going to be beating the Bears. No surprise there. I will reiterate: let's not write off the bet. Like we expect to win, but they're still a football team. We still got to go through them. Like, don't think it's just a tick. That we still got to show up. We still got to kick ass. We still got to fucking take names. Then we go on to the Eagles. I don't see it, but you never know. Sorry, it's not Eagles. It's yeah, it's the Eagles. Sorry, I do apologize. We go on to the Eagles on Monday Night Football. We're not known for being great on the national stage. However, I don't believe in all that kind of crappy. You got to like a curse or that. I don't believe in that shit.
Yeah.
But you never know. You can see them with their pants down. They don't know your They don't know your scheme. If they can sort out the offense to a point where it's consistent. The run game does worry me though. We haven't seen anything there. I would like a bit more of a run game. But I'm happy enough with the passing game, especially if we cap off last week. Then we'll go for the Saints, then the Lions, then the Falcons, then the Bills. That would put us at 7 wins. I'm not sure I have that optimism, to be brutally honest. I could see us. I could honestly see us being 5-2.
Yeah, and I only say that because we know how fast the media will turn around, and all of a sudden they'll make a Cinderella story out of the Bucs, and that can like, well, I knew, like, hey, after that game in the Philly, I kind of got on the Bucs bandwagon, and then I want to go stop. I don't want to hear that. Most of you guys are talking about the Bucs are tanking for Caleb Williams. Did you see a team this past Sunday looking like they want to tank? Hell no. They are retooled, not rebuilding. And the reason why I say that, because the Eagles yesterday, I wasn't impressed. Like, it was a win.
No, it really wasn't. It wasn't like, it should have been a lot more outside than I expected.
Right. When I watched the game, I said, this was okay, but I didn't, like you said, I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed. The Saints, I damn sure wasn't impressed. I damn near laughed. I was like, this is terrible. You barely beat Tannehill, and they're in the locker room dancing like they just – the Saints are so – the Taints, we call them. They're such childlike because you're in the locker room doing the stupid-ass, silly dances and stuff when Ryan Tannehill damn near beat y'all. It's not – the Titans are not a good team. We know that. The Titans have Derrick Henry.
Stop their run game, and then you're forcing Ryan Tannehill to pass. He's not known for it. They don't have an elite wide receiving core. So they don't have a great wide receiving core. They have one guy, and that guy's getting older. He's had a few injuries, and nothing against him. I hope he has a good career. He's had a good career so far. But the Saints, like, the thing, I looked at the Saints played like the Vikings.
Yeah.
They scored like the Vikings. They had the. I'll look at it. I'll look at it now, and just on from a comparison point of view. But I saw a lot of yards and no touchdowns.
Exactly.
That means someone got the ball out. And one thing you can always say about the Titans, especially with Mike Vrabel, he is a defense-first coach. Now, I do think the Vikings do actually go on to have, scaling back to them for a second, I do think they go on to have a better season than we would predict. It's just, I think it's a good division now. I mean, you look at Green Bay did a job. We don't know if that's just a week one thing, and that's what I'll always say. Week 1 is we're figuring stuff out. Week 2 is when what you're really made of. And luckily for us, we do get a bit of a weaker team. I just hope, and I know the Buccaneers know that fans, we may talk shit. We always do because we're fans.
Yeah.
But whenever I played or coach, I always tell my team, we ain't beating them until we beat them. When that referee goes,
absolutely,
the game is over, then you can talk your shit. Or if we're up by a lot of scores and we're just dominating them, fair enough. But until we're in that point, you ain't won nothing. So don't talk like you've won something. It's like talking like you won the Super Bowl before you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I do think that they're not going to take the Bears lightly. If anything, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Bowles released the Hounds and we see this defense really get nasty, because you saw the Bears don't have a good line. So now you take advantage of that. They don't really have anyone to throw to. You already know Justin Fields is going to take off. Levante and Devin.
I'd be even more cerebral. I would rush one side to force him to run, because he likes to go on a walk. He likes to go for a little run. And I'd have Devin White going, Dev, all your job is, we're going to flush his little fucking ass, He's going to come running, and he's going to meet you. That's all that's going to happen. We're going to flush him that side. So I put Cansey on the other side. Wherever Levante David, Cansey's on the other side. If he's obviously available for the game. Vita Vea. I tell you what, Logan Hall looked good as well. I saw his name called. He did good tackles and stuff. So really pleased for this line. Didn't see much of Greg Gaines. Didn't see his name come up. He's very quiet.
Yeah.
I just want to I'll run through some of these comments because we have let a few comments go for a while. So we got Christopher Cole, one of our faves. Our O-line was outnumbered a lot of the time because of all the blitzing, and they still did a good number. So, guys, go check out Christopher Cole. He's got some good stuff. He's always rocking it in the chair. So that guy is a stud. King Cook. Well, let's not forget how the safeties and linebackers help. We were saying that. We were literally saying the same thing: is get those linebackers underneath, get those safeties clamping down on top, work together, communicate with each other, and you can stop a good passing team. Force them to find the hole. The longer he's looking, the more chance that pass rush is you get those coverage sacks or those coverage hits. Yep. I love the D-line rotation. D-line rotation was really good. But didn't see Greg Gaines that much. Obviously, Cansey went out with an injury. But in general, like, we know what we got with Will Goulston. That's never been in doubt. Logan Hall looked pretty good, so I was pretty happy with that. And then everything else was just smooth.
Agreed.
Jeff Olson, our boy. Bay, nominated for Bay Writer of the Year. JT Olson, our boy, one of the lead writers at Bucs Report. He's got the running game will get better as the O-line will figure themselves out. Give Mark and a time, and he will thrive in this offense. I all we want to do is see it. But I give them an A+ in pass protection because if you only give up 2, there was some. We were taught. I saw your show that you did on Wednesday. And I jumped in the last second, but I did watch it while I was at work briefly. And you did. It was mentioned that we were going up against a good pass rushing team. Like they can rush the passer. So I give them everything. Like, to be honest, like the fact that we didn't have a lot of plays called back, the fact that we weren't talking about a sack given up.
No holding.
I'm happy. I'm happy with the offensive line from a passing point of view. I would have to really look a bit harder in the tape to see if it's offensive line or it's running backs that's the problem in the run game.
I can tell you this: so far, it wasn't the line; it was the running backs. There were holes to be made, but Rashad has got to know now. If you're going to be the guy, you're going to have to go out there with expectations that. He can't always think that, like, this was a Leonard Fournette problem. Sometimes you're just going to have to hit that hole and bulldoze your way into there. And there was a play where he was trying to run to the side, like try to run sideways. No, run through the fucking guys. Run through there first and fall forward. Sometimes you can literally fall 2 yards over and get extra yards. So, yes, it's going to get better because Tucker, when he came in, he was just blowing up the hole. He was blowing that shit up. Now, I like this.
King Cook has got Eisen and Levante David need to spy Fields all game. You can't spy Fields all game because you're having 2 players that can't do anything else but spy. That means other things are going to be wide open. You can't. What you do is you play. You probably could play a man zone combination. So you could have your middle back. You could have your backers play. You could have your backers play zone. And Eisen's technically a backer because he's a nickel. And then everyone around the shell plays man.
Yeah.
You have maybe your safeties play zone, your safeties play zone, and and 2 of your backers play zone, and the rest play man. Is what I would probably go with in that. But I don't think you can spy all day long. It doesn't work. It works in high school. It doesn't work in the pros. There's just too many sets, too many different things you can do. It's like AJ saying about press man. You can't do press up man all day. You can't stay in zone all day. You have to constantly change. Otherwise, once they figured out what you're doing, you've got nothing else to look at because you've got shown them only one thing. You have no idea if your team's good at anything else. Whereas if you rotate, you'll go, right, give it to me. And they're like, right, so when we're in cover two, We've been dicking him. Awesome. What about when we were a man? Well, we do struggle on the left-hand side with man. He's been struggling to keep his man in. What about press? Abysmal in press. Like they're getting clean releases every 90% of the time. So then you start to build. What about shutting down the run from the quarterback when he starts to peel out? Yeah, we're doing really well at that. So then it's picking your poison, and that's just football. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. And then plus,
Go.
what do you
Plus,
say?
I think Chicago will be a great test for our run defense this week. All right. Yeah, I think so. Absolutely, I agree with that. Rashad definitely has to run harder and hit that hole and go. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing.
Otherwise, Tucker's going to take some reps.
And if you go back and look at it, Tucker was blowing up holes. Every time he got it, sometimes it's okay to get the ball and just run through and plow. You have to establish physical
I think you find
toughness
that the
because
guys who
not
are
only
at
that,
the second level, so sorry, not
yeah,
the second level, the second string,
yes,
because they're fighting for reps, right?
yep,
They will probably put themselves. I say probably about 3 times it. They will put themselves in harm's way a little bit more because they don't care that they're not the start. They want to get the starting reps, so you fight for them, and the only way you can fight for them is every time you have the ball, you get that you try and get that extra yard. Whereas the starter's trying to save himself because he's got a whole game to play, right?
mm-hmm,
He knows he's got plus 10 touches.
yep,
Plus 10 touches. The other guy may only get 3 or 4, dependent on how well the guy in front of him plays
mm-hmm,
and injuries and stuff. So you usually find the second string guy will probably put the ball down. And we used to see it with Keyshawn Vaughn all the time.
yep. He would
He'd get it
fall.
and he'd be like, shit, I'm back here. He was a fighter for yards. And that's what we're seeing with Sean Tucker. Now, hopefully it stays true. We saw the same thing with Rachaad White last year. He's just got to take away the starter's mentality and just be a player. Get what you can get.
Yep, be a player.
If you get too smart about it, running back isn't a smart position. It's not. It's read, hit a hole, and go. It's reverse linebacker, I always call it.
I like that. Yeah, and you got to
know reverse linebacker is reverse running back.
Yeah, and you have to know
read a hole, go fucking hit somebody.
Yep, and that's all you got to do. And then I would like to see this more. If they do certain rollouts, the running back Rashad can do a little chip and then move out and then whoop, then just throw that
chipping out.
Yep, chipping out.
Chipping out. I like that.
A little bit of chipping out, especially against if they blitz like a nickel. Man, get Rashad to knock him off his route and then roll out, and Baker can do the rest. Because then even if he doesn't do a good job, Baker can move out of the way and still get the ball out. That I like that kind of play where the running back is your safety net, your check down. We can do that because Rachaad White is good I think he's at this point, it looks like right now he's better as a pass catching running back. You can mix it up a little bit. It's like, you know what? If we're going to be nitty gritty, Tucker, go in there and fight for those 3 to 4 yards. Okay, and then we're going to do a pass game. Okay, Rashad, get this ball and make it happen. The offense will get better though. I told Buck fans this during the pregame. I said, guys, do not expect this team to be putting up 30 to 40 points right now. It's a work in progress, and we saw that. But what we loved, the biggest word for the second half of the game was adjustment. The adjustment that Canales did, I was so impressed. Like I stated earlier, guys, he believed in his guys. He finally got a chance to see, oh, okay, so this is what the Vikings are doing. Oh, so this is what they're honoring. Oh, this is what they really are confident in. And like I said before, yes, the Vikings have a solid pass rush, but it wasn't enough. Again, they couldn't pin their ears back like they wanted to, first off, because the game was too close and Baker was heating up. I told you the drive of the game was that opening, because the way we methodically went down there and was punching just body shots. You could clearly see, if you go back and look at it, that the Vikings defense was getting worn down and they were getting confused, because that is how, when we got into the red zone, Palmer was able to have his way because his speed was so much. If you look at it, the Vikings didn't even see him until the last minute, and it was too late. And you can tell after he catches it, they just stopped and was like, damn. That is what we're talking about. That's the kind of offense that we're going to be playing for a while. So don't be surprised if the Bucs at the first 6 weeks only put up at least like only in the 20s, maybe some 30s, but don't expect some 40s. If that happens, good. But right now, I want the Buck fans just to understand this was a solid win yesterday. And this is going to build confidence. And we got away mostly healthy. I think Cansey will be fine. Hopefully, it's
And,
just
and we know that that's an injury that can get flared up. We kind of expected, we can kind of expect this. But you got to remember, Bucs fans, we do have the old school guy back. The old school ghoul, that is Goulston, is back. So it's not like we have nobody there. We have somebody. And Logan Hall looked good, so I'm happy with that. But the one thing I want to talk about, the passing of Baker Mayfield. I remember at one point in the broadcast, they pointed out that I think he'd only connected on 3 plays in 13 or something like that, which means he was either at or just under 30% of his passes, and then he flips it to be almost 60. That's impressive. That goes to show that the moxie and the level of discipline that he put into himself. I'm going to have a little snoop full here. So we got incomplete. That was the first drive.
Yes.
Second drive was complete. We'll go incomplete. 2 incompletes. We have 4 incompletes so far and a complete. Incomplete.
Yeah.
I mean, second quarter, we're already 6 for 1 at this point. That's just run. That was the weird that I remember this one where it was just like run. 3 runs straight off and none of them went anywhere. And I was like, okay, I'm a little bit worried now from this play call. Incomplete again.
Yes, I was concerned too.
Incomplete again, and then it runs. Incomplete. I'm saying incomplete a lot. I think I've only said complete twice. So you add that up. His passing percentage was piss poor, and he turns it around. Yes. That's what impressed me. There were a couple of times where I wished he kind of went for routes that were a bit closer to the sticks. I think for a play design, he went for guys were 3 or 4 yards off the. Sorry, I'm just going to answer this straight away. No money. We just don't want to spend.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was $6 million a year, but the Buccaneers were apparently they didn't even offer him anything. He did apparently come out and say that the Buccaneers didn't even potentially give him any sort of offer. I think they've just comfortable with what they had. I know, don't get me wrong. I think Jordan Whitehead is a very good. It took him a while to get there. It took him 3 years before he really 2 to 3 years before he really popped off as an elite guy. I think Coach Bowles was what helped made that guy.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%. I just think that we're fine with what we have already. But yeah, I do want to talk what you were talking about when it came to Logan Hall again. I think he did a great job in the run too. He might have just needed a season under him, because if he can continue to stay solid, that could allow your Canseys. I honestly, with Cansey right now, I would he'd be day to day, but just so if we do start him, just make him a situational guy. Put him in on a third down every other while, or first down. Just slowly get him back into the rotation, because our D-line rotation was doing well. Now, I do want to see more generated pass rush, but I think that will come in due time. I do think that we were getting very close each time. Kirk he's a veteran guy. He just found a way to just throw it out there really quick, but I don't see that next week.
Now we got a guy who likes to hang on to the ball for
a guy who's less. Yes, who likes to run all over the place, and he wants to extend the play. But the problem is he does not have anyone super good to do that with. So I honestly do think that the Bucs will go in there. The past few years that we played the Bears, we haven't overlooked them. Look at the Brady era. Look at how we was just trouncing them the second season. And I know it's different, but we didn't take them lightly. I think this year the Bucs are not taking anybody lightly because they know what it's like to be overlooked. I'm sure they're like, hey guys, look, we didn't even get that much attention in the media. I didn't hear Stephen A. Smith or Shannon really talk about them like that. I didn't hardly hear anybody really bring up the Bucs. We are literally back to the Jameis Winston era when the only time they're going to talk about the Bucs is if something goes completely wrong. The Bucs lose this game, they'd be talking about how
really, really right or really, really like it'll be like, oh, the Bucs have won 3 in a band. Then they'll talk about us.
Yeah, yes.
Even then, there'll be someone going, yeah, but I don't know. Like they went against a suspect, such and such team. They went against a such and such suspect such and such team. They went against a weak such and such team. So I'm not really surprised. I think they're going to come down to earth very soon. That kind of thing. That's what's going to happen.
Right. And we were talking about it because I was talking to a couple. They were saying, well, AJ, in your opinion, then who was the team in the NFC that stood out? I said we already know this. The only team this week that stood out, and I get it was still week 1, was the 49ers. The way that they put a beat down on the Steelers, they took full advantage of everything. We already knew. I told people because I picked them. I picked the 49ers to win, of course. I told people the Steelers have a shaky line situation and a QB situation.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sold on that quarterback yet.
Yeah, I'm not sold on them either. And I'm like, do you realize the 49ers healthy is the best team in the NFC, even better than the Eagles? And Purdy was.
I think they're just smarter.
Yes.
Nastier.
Yes, exactly. But on both sides of the ball. Offensive. Look at Ayuk was killing that touchdown to McCaffrey. People don't realize that touchdown also happened because Ayuk knocked the defender on his ass. He just blew him up. He blew him up, and it's almost Debo and Ayuk got a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin type of thing going on. I mean, like they're both really good. They're dual. Debo is the guy who can do the more well-rounded thing. He's the cleanup star, but Ayuk was the guy who can get those tough catches and make contested catches as well. I was sitting there like, that's the only NFC team right now. I will say, Slick, when we play them, hope by the time we play them, maybe, but right now, I don't want to see this team yet. The 49ers are for real. They're trying to get there. The Eagles, I'm not sold on just yet. I'm not sold. They were the 49ers commanded to me. They gave me they commanded that we're the best team. First week, we're the team that you need to watch out for. But this NFC, like we said, it showed wow. If the Bucs
I think if someone said to me based off week 1, who do you think are the really good teams, as in unquestionables, based off I'd say a bit off last year and a bit off week 1. It's probably gonna have to be the Cowboys, just because they were able to put put that many points on with a really poor quarterback. I mean, you just can't. If you can generate that much pointage, what happens when he does play well? So you got to put the Cowboys in there. Their defense is legit. They know how to get shit done, unfortunately. But that could just be week 1. We don't know what's going to happen. I never saw the Giants. I never did. I don't rate their quarterback. Never have. Everyone keeps telling me that their running back is generational. Yeah, they said that about Ezekiel Elliott, and he got cut. So that says a lot. And I also believe,
right?
It's true, right? Yeah, I would probably have to say the Cowboys play well. Like if you go out and blow a team out on the national stage, that is your divisional rival, and your quarterback played poorly, you're a pretty good team, right? That's how I say that.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
For now,
with the Cowboys. Yeah, with the Cowboys, I said you took advantage of a. We knew already that the Giants were bad, but I told people no. Daniel Jones robbed the Giants, and Saquon all they got to do is load the box, and you're taking everything away. They literally made them one dimensional. And again, the Giants are just last year they were hungry, but we always talk about this. What's going to happen when people adjust to you? What's going to happen when they have film and say, okay, this is what he can really do, and this is exactly what's going to happen. So, as you said, I think the Bucs defense, if the Cowboys didn't play now, the Bucs defense would overwhelm the Cowboys because the Cowboys don't have enough offensive weapons to stretch it. Now, their Cowboys defense against our offense, I don't know. The only reason I say our X factor is Baker, because now Michael Parsons wants to get to a quarterback. His biggest strength is getting after quarterbacks who can't move. Now, I'm not saying Daniel Jones can move, but I think he would underestimate Baker. Baker would like get a little maneuver out the way and go whoop and throw that shit to somebody. I just think that the 49ers to me were the sole command of the NFC.
You
The
got to put
AFC was
the Eagles in just because they won. You know, they found a way to win,
yeah.
And they are probably the best three teams right now. And I don't think anyone's actually surprised at that, because I think even preseason you'd say that they were probably the best from the NFC. Then it's about like who's going to emerge, who's going to take that step and be that team. I was impressed with the Rams win because they didn't have who they were supposed to have, and they adjusted to that quite well. Disappointed for the Seahawks. I actually expected more. They loaded up a bit more. They do have two really good wide receivers. I was really surprised that they were as poor as they were.
Me too.
I was actually not that impressed with the Lions. They scored two touchdowns that their offense scored. Patrick Mahomes was better from an offensive standpoint with his really poor wide receivers. Actually did more damage from a points point of view. If it weren't for the pick six, that game's a lot tighter. That game is actually still Mahomes winnable. How much did they win by?
I think
a point. They won by a point.
Right.
You negate. Let's say that's just an interception, and they get a field goal out of it. Patrick Mahomes is winning that game.
Yeah,
and he shouldn't.
Yeah,
he shouldn't.
The Lions, they're not. Yeah, the Lions don't have enough offensive firepower.
Week one, everyone's still figuring shit out. You know, they're all rookie because some people have different philosophies on how to engage their season, right? So we took we're not playing our guys unless they need it. Like if we brought in a starter from another team, I want to see how he plays because it's his first time in the scheme, right? But guys who've been in the scheme for years and years and years, we want to try or know who played a very long time. We don't really want to waste them in preseason. That was the Buccaneers' philosophy, right?
Right.
So you're gonna have that rust. It's what we do. Do we take that end of the second quarter all the way to because I honestly generally believe the Buccaneers, there's more time on that clock, like there was like 5 minutes on that clock rather than whatever we had. I think it was like four and something. Let's say it was a 6 minute clock. I believe the Buccaneers go down and score because their will to get first downs on that drive, because obviously they know they need it. It wins the game, right?
Yes.
But their will to go get it, it looked like if there's meat on the bone, they get it.
I agree. And the Mayfield run took a lot out of the Vikings because they expected to get a stop there. But then when that happened, I think that sucked a lot of the momentum out of them. Like, damn, we really let this guy get that, because now the line, if you look at it, the line held up on that pass. Well, Baker got it out so fast, but the way Godwin caught that damn thing, that is another thing that I was telling a lot of people. You forget that Godwin and Evans are there. This is Baker's best team he's ever been on. Baker knows if I can't make it happen here, then I'm not going to make it happen anywhere else. This is Baker's last shot for a big check, and he knows it. So he's going to be willing to put his body on the line because he's got a squad. And look,
he's got a squad, and if he does it, he could be set for the next 5 years. You know,
exactly. He's going to be set, and plus, look, that's a lot. He has a lot of big shoes to fill. He literally just got a win from taking over the GOAT, and that's a big thing. But I like the fact that I think Baker's playing with the intensity of, you know what, I'll show these motherfuckers. Because here's why I say that. Nobody's really thinking about Baker. I saw a lot of Baker slander. Oh, he's your quarterback, and then Justin Jefferson. And if you watch,
Yeah, but you know the meme that you had of it, that
yeah,
Justin Jefferson pouting. One of my
yeah,
friends replied back to me, "Well, wouldn't you pout if you just lost to Baker Mayfield?" And I was like, "Baker Mayfield ain't that bad." I mean, I was like, "Dude, you're a Patriots fan. They're both like, if I stand corrected, Baker's won a playoff game."
exactly. When Brady left, you guys have been in the dark, and Matt Jones is your quarterback, and I just see him as a Patriot, the quarterback that was there before what's the face got there. I forgot his name, but we played him last year. He was the quarterback for the Saints. Damn it, I forgot his name. He'll come back, but Matt Jones is not the answer for the Patriots. I think they just fooled themselves with the
Andy
hype.
Dalton.
Oh, Belichick, Andy Dalton. Yeah, he's just a Patriot. Andy Dalton. He can get a few things going, but that's it. Yes, but the Justin Jefferson thing, I loved it because he got an ego too. But that game, we humbled him. We said, "Sit down," and people were like, "Damn, you really put the crying sound effects." I'm like, "Oh yeah, he was dying inside because he knew he was like, Kirk Cousins blew this game for us, man. Damn, I did all this 150 yards for nothing. I'm like Mike Evans. I want some money." And I won't be surprised if he leaves that team when his contract's up. I hope he does. But good for him. But yeah, overall though, NFC showed us what they were going to be like. The AFC was far interesting. Did you see the Miami and Chargers game?
That was an exciting game to watch.
That was a very exciting game to watch. And then also Deshaun Watson was doing this thing. The AFC is, of course, is going to be the squad.
That was a shocker. I don't think anybody, unless you're a Browns fan, would have really saw that game go the way it did. But it did go that way, and it is what it is. So, you know, all I can say is, let's talk. One thing I want to talk about is our coach, our head coach. A lot of people don't like him. Some people are already talking about getting rid of him. And he made some gutsy calls, and they paid off. Like the fourth down, I didn't like the challenge. That was the one thing I would put against him. But they usually have someone to tell them to challenge. I don't think they sit there and watch the play themselves. So whenever I see a guy rolling around on the floor, I know it's not going to be a fourth down. It's not going to be completed, because if you're rolling forward, that means some one of your body parts is a very high percentage chance that one of your body parts is behind the line. Doesn't matter where the ball ends up, somewhere of your body, whether it be your ass, your hip.
I agree.
It's gonna be there. So
I agree.
I didn't like it. The fourth down call.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it because it was gutsy. Of course, it's gutsy. And then the kick. I was shitting myself with that kick because I was like, "Oh god!" Because you know what? We're the Buccaneer fans. We're Buccaneer fans. We know what it's like to have kickers miss, right?
This was me. Oh god! I'm like, please, Lord, I was frustrated with that because you got Evans and Godwin on a 4th and 3. And you have Otten. You have do a damn rollout play. Have Baker run it, run to the side, and have somebody do a crossing route with Palmer.
They
have yet to open that up, and I'm hoping maybe, as we always said, Slick, you've said this before, but this might be true with Dallas. He might have that 5 to 6 plays where he keeps it in his back pocket. He's like, man, if the season's going well, I got something for y'all. Because with Palmer, oh my God, rollouts and crossing routes all damn day. I dare you to beat that. I dare. Ain't that many linebackers in the league that got Devin White and Levante speed and intelligence. Go ahead. And we got a mobile quarterback. Wait a minute. The safety all of a sudden wants to come down and help this guy out. Evans, are you open? Throw that damn bomb so Evans can just jump and catch it and do that signature thing and do his thing. Oh yeah, no. They're gonna have to wait. And hold on, we got somebody else over here that wants to chat for a second. I think we got Bucs Live in the house. You want to bring him on? Bring our special guest on?
Oh yeah, let's bring on Rick from Bucs Live. Our guy,
Rick. How you doing, Rick?
Hello, gentlemen. There
Cheers.
you go.
I'm doing water. Water for me.
For the love of God, for the next 48 hours, all we're going to hear is Buccaneers fans complaining, and we need to get rid of Jason Light, and everybody sucks because Jordan Whitehead has 3 picks tonight in the Monday Night Football game.
And that's great for him. I'm really
Yeah,
pleased.
good for him.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
I
Did he have
was
3 picks?
sad to see him
Did he ever have
go.
3 picks for us in a game?
What's
No.
that?
So no, I don't think he did either. So it's
Never.
irrelevant. You can't. This is people with a crystal ball going, "Oh my gosh! Look at this guy playing so well." 2 years removed from when we last had him on the team.
Listen, I didn't want to lose him at the time, but you
No, no,
can
no,
only have so many
no.
people at that position.
He was. It was like an extra linebacker. He was so rough.
Yeah. I mean,
He was mean, man.
yeah.
but
And okay,
He wasn't
gone,
known for the
guys.
interceptions. He was known for laying the wood.
Oh man, was
yes,
he
was
shoulders to the shoulder pad to the ball, creating fumbles. He
Yeah.
was phenomenal.
Someone told me he
But-
got 3 fumbles. I believe it. I wouldn't believe 3 interceptions.
Oh, absolutely. But oh my God, I've got to hear this for the next 48 hours every time I go online. Buccaneers fans saying, "Oh, fire Jason Light." Oh my
There's
God,
always going to be
everybody
players that
sucks.
move on and have good careers. You can't keep everybody. If that was the case, then everyone would keep everyone they wanted. It just doesn't happen.
And here's
And
another
tell me,
thing.
tonight's just not the most Jets night ever.
What is the score of this game? Because I have no idea.
Last I saw,
13,
Buffalo
13,
was
and
winning by 7. But Aaron Rodgers running
it's
out on the
13,
field
13
with the
now.
American flag, and he gets 4 snaps. I mean,
What's the injury report on him now?
I think he's out for the game.
I've got a close-up picture. I wish I could put it up online here somehow, but it looks like Achilles. Here, actually, I will send it to you, Slick.
Send it to me, and I'll see if I can pop it up on the show.
Yeah. Give me just a second here. Take me out for just a second and bring me back in a second.
No, you're good. And Slick, I want to bring this up. Do you know who the Bucs used to have that had a game, but he had that when he left us? You remember a guy remember Adrian Claiborne?
Yep.
7 sacks in one game before with the Falcons. Didn't do that shit with us. So it's just how, like you said, some people aren't always meant to be here, and it's just like that. Just because they were there doesn't mean that they're going to be as productive. I'm happy Whitehead's doing his thing, but he's doing his thing somewhere else. We have our own squad now. We're doing what we need to do.
Agree.
So it is what it is, Buck fans. Just drop the shit. We won. We don't even know if the Jets. What if all that happens and the Jets still lose? Now I've heard that Adrian Claiborne. You're right. He was our first round pick at that. It shit happens, King Cook. It happens. Just because we draft somebody doesn't always pan out. Just look at it like this. Brad Johnson was not with us. I think Brad Johnson was drafted by the Vikings, and then he was okay there, but then we brought him to Tampa, and he wins a Super Bowl with us. So it can happen, guys. Don't worry about it. We're happy about our man getting his money, but Whitehead, it's just like that. It just be like that.
I got the picture.
Welcome
bro.
back, Rick Hughes, and
hello.
And follow, and remember, continue to follow Bucs Live as well. He's awesome. But what I like about Rick, he just tell it how it is. We can all be excited. He'll be like, guys, this is what's gonna happen. Because Rick, you called it. You said the Vikings did not know what to do with this Bucs team, and you're right. They were confused.
I predicted in the pregame show. I said 24-17. I missed by 4 points.
Yes, you did.
Take it. All right, is this the picture?
Yeah.
Oh. Woo.
Well, yeah, you see you see the Achilles snapping up into the calf.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
I saw him get up, and then when he sat back down, there's another one, Slick, where they got the a fan for the Jets. It's already an iconic moment. He has like a old school Jets hat, it looks like it's been worn for years, and he's like this. He got his middle finger up, like the Jets just can't catch a break. That is such a heartbreaker. And then when
that's such a Jets thing to happen, isn't it?
Yes,
it's so Jets.
And here's the funny thing: the Cowboys get another win because they play the Jets next week. And look, they're gonna have another
fucking looking quarterback playing for him now, aren't they?
Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if.
By the way, guys, Zach Wilson has led it back. It's a tie game. The Jets have the ball with 1:56 minutes left on Buffalo's 12-yard line.
Wow. If they,
I mean, they scored 13 points in the game. I don't see it with 1 minute.
They're 12 yards away.
All 3 minutes, I don't think they're going to score. It's possible.
Oh, they did kick a field goal. 16-13 Jets with 1:48 left.
Holy shit.
Zach Wilson
is this
be
true?
The hero.
Yeah. Now, is this true, Rick? Because I heard they said Josh Allen he's been Jameis Winston like with these picks.
That what?
I think
he's throwing a lot of picks.
Throwing a lot of picks. He's channeling his Jameis Winston.
Well, he's thrown 3 today. So
yeah. He's got 1 touchdown for 3 interceptions, and he's on a 190. So,
Slick, can you imagine somebody in fantasy with him right now? They're probably crying somewhere. They're somewhere in the corner crying.
Well, imagine drafting Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, that's like
a lot of people did.
Now, I stayed away from him. I'm not gonna lie, and you guys aren't gonna agree, but I drafted Deshaun Watson, and that panned out for me very well.
Oh, I don't have listen. I have no issue with that. I mean, I don't. I'm in the minority where I just don't care about these players' personal lives. I just don't care. I mean, just go out and play ball, and I'm when it comes to animal lovers. If y'all ever watched my shows, I love I got my pets on there. Mm-hmm. I got one of my cats. Mm-hmm. I used a lot on one of the shows, and but I can even look at it even with Michael Vick. I'm like, all right, dude did his time. I hate what he did with a passion. I mean, with a passion. He did his time. It's over. Now we I hope the best for him. Changed his life. Okay, fine. Deshaun Watson. You're an idiot, but you never got charged with anything. You never really got in trouble. Okay, it's over. Good luck playing ball. I don't need to punish somebody just because they do something I don't agree with or whatever. I don't need to take away their means to make a living. Even if I don't agree with them, I don't need to take away their means to make a living. Look, Deshaun Watson, good luck, buddy. I hope you're good. All these guys, if you show me a video of a player beating a woman, get him out of the game, get him off the field, do whatever. But if that guy gets his crap together, if that guy makes steps and changes his life, okay, great.
Right. Well, I want to ask you this, Rick. Since the Bucs were victorious, now give me your studs and duds for the Bucs this game.
Oh, studs and duds. All right. Well, studs has got to be Christian Izzian. I mean, you can't leave that dude out. You got to give it to Baker. Duds, man. I guess the only one is O'Keefe. I mean, maybe O'Keefe.
O'Keefe definitely.
My man was Cole Evans and Cole Godwin. The way they was using him out there, I'm sitting here dang.
What other dud who are you supposed to say is a dud. I mean,
Rashad White.
everybody from punt coverage to the punter to the field goal
Rashad White.
kicker to everybody.
I'm going to give it to
Rashad
Ryan
White
Neal
was not
because
good.
that touchdown. Ryan Neal did not impress me, and then with that Addison, I'm still mad at him with that damn Addison touchdown because that was something where, as a safety, how did you not see that coming? You just let him blow right
is
past.
this is always an interesting one, and I'll answer this in this sense. We don't actually know the play call, so sometimes busted coverage is when you look up and go, "Fuck, someone's missed their coverage. I better go cover it instead." And that's what you might have seen of him going, where's the fucking deep dropper? Shit, I better go fucking guard this because I've just picked this guy in the peripheral. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it does happen. That's usually what busted coverage is. It's usually somebody else was meant to be in a place and they've gone, fuck. But when they see you underneath him and getting your ass beat, they go, oh, well, he fucked it up. And I was like, well, maybe he didn't have that. I used to say this with, used to have a safety, the one that got fucking face palmed on national television.
Oh, you talking
a lot of the time, I had a massive argument with someone. We played a lot of cover 3 back then, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he busted his coverage." I'm like, you don't know that though. He's gone from coming downhill to going back uphill. That sounds more like looks on my eyes as somebody's gone. Someone's not in the right fucking place. I better go and chase down a guy, and no one keeps a guy if you're getting your coverage busted that much. Doesn't matter how good how good of a relationship you have with a coach. He was constantly chasing down plays, and they were saying how bad he was in coverage. I generally think he probably had a shallow coverage and realized that someone wasn't in the right place and just covered the best he could. But it's you who gets the knock on your head because it's you chasing down a guy.
Actually, I got props for 2 more people. Number one, you got to give Todd Bowles props because for everything all the crap he got for poor game management, he was on it.
Yeah, we discussed it.
And finally, Dave Canales for sticking with the run. Even though
it wasn't working.
Overly productive. It's that battering ram. It's like it's like a boxer. Why do they throw jabs? A jab's not going to knock the other guy out, but you throw that jab because enough jabs and you're just constantly doing damage,
It's a body shot. It's a body shot effect too. It is a body shot effect. So that is a perfect one. And for all you out there, you're still listening to the Aftermath on 102.9, the Game Broad Street South Radio. And Rick, you are absolutely right because now, Rick, I explained earlier. Now, how did you feel about the opening drive the Bucs made? What were key things that you saw that gives you hope that this offense can be special?
Wait, the opening drive?
In the third quarter when we scored the touchdown.
The opening drive, I didn't see anything. The opening
drive, we went 3 and out, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no hope in that one.
The fact that it was a 9-minute drive, and this is what I was about to say. I texted multiple people when there are 5 minutes left after that 40-second 3 and out that the Vikings had. We got the ball with 5 minutes left. And I texted multiple people. This is why those unproductive runs right now, this is why you do it. And as they ran, you got more yardage on that last one because you've been battering and hammering and hammering and hammering. And this is what was different. This right here. Why was Chris Godwin that wide open? Because everybody thought it was going to be a run.
Because runs take time off the clock.
And everybody thought it was going to be a run, and they'd stuck with the run. So now you had the option. I mean, it's when this is the difference between last year and this year. Unpredictability. You can bludgeon the defense. You just keep taking shots. And let me tell you something. If you have Rashad White running into you over and over and over, in that fourth quarter, it was this way with Mike Allstott back in the day, even way more so. You look up and you realize, oh crap, I've got to step in that dude's way again. I got to get hit. I got to hit that dude again. And you're a little bit slower at it. you're hurting a little more. They pull up the defense because they know he's coming. They crash the line to fill the gaps, and all of a sudden, there's Chris Godwin out there all alone.
Play action is working a little bit more because they're expecting run.
Yep, and that's why this was so important. So that whole thing, that whole run, that whole running over and over and over and over, this is why it was that important. By the way, Buffalo is driven down there on the Jets' 32-yard line with 16 seconds left. Third down. They're probably going to run one more quick play. I don't know if they have any. They have no more timeouts. They may run one more quick play and then try to kick a game time.
Oh my God! So this game's going to go into overtime, possibly? Oh no!
Looks like it.
Oh no! I'm going to bed after this. I don't need. Look, I'll wake up and find out. But I do like what you said, though, Rick. Sometimes the difference between this and last year. Last year it was just hopeless running. It wasn't. There was no game, no chess game about it.
Like there was no strategy behind what we were doing. We were a turn up and play team.
Yeah, we're just going to do it.
Purpose.
Yes, and as you said, I think confidence was key. Last year, you can tell Byron was more scared of the opposing team than he believed in his own players. Canales did not do that. Canales
you kept thinking on 3rd and 1 last year. It was like, oh no, it's 3rd and 1. We're not, like we got no shot at this. And this year it was like 3rd and 1. Okay, we're good.
Right. The second half, I felt 3rd and 1, and we and you have talked about this, Rick, because we've been saying this ever since Baker got here. So first of all, for the media out there, you guys this week owe me and Rick an apology. We said Baker can be somebody, especially with this damn offense. And what does he do? When he ran the ball, I said in my show, Brady would have never done that. We would have eaten that sack and possibly lose the game because that would have shifted the momentum because he would have dropped. And that's
Brady would have in his first year with the Bucs, not the last year.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So last year he was scared.
Yeah, last year he was
first
scared.
Year with the Bucs he would have.
Right, but last year's Brady. Absolutely not. And that and people don't realize that one little thing can change your entire offense because like
overtime in the game, guys.
Oh God.
I'm not terrible. Josh, good gosh, man. No, but
you couldn't put away the Milky Bar kid.
You couldn't put away Zach Wilson. You couldn't put away that guy. You couldn't put away Stifler from American Pie. Every time I think of Zach Wilson, Slick and Rick, he reminds me of Stifler from American Pie.
I'll get the Milky Bar kid.
Oh, listen, the first 2 weeks of every season, just weird stuff happens.
Oh,
yeah, and that's it. I think we're going to really start to see, like, we're quite lucky that we get the Bears this week because they're a struggling franchise, and it gives us a chance to like kind of work out some kinks. We don't have to be overly cautious, but we still have to go. We're still playing a football team here. They want to win just as much as we want to win.
Well, I think I said this to Slick before the game. We played Minnesota. It's going to be a close game, and we pulled one out. I think when we play the Bears, it's still going to be a close game. I think
so too.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to blow anybody out this year.
It depends.
I think we might have the odd game, but I think it'd be catching a team with its pants down and just being on it. Just that one game or two. Right. But I completely agree with you, Rick. I think this is a team that's finding itself. Like this, if we're going to blow out teams, it's going to be towards the back end of the season anyway. It's not going to be now because we're still figuring out what's working.
Well, relying on the run. I don't think we're trying to blow them out. I think it's keep everything under control. There's a certain amount of, okay, if we're up by 10, we're going to be playing more conservative. I just see
there's times where plays just happen, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, we're up by 20, and it's at the half.
Yeah.
It does happen. Yeah. It's not. I think they might get one. I don't think they'll be looking to blow teams out because I don't think any team really many teams sit there and think they're going to blow certain teams out.
No.
Some do, obviously, because they know they got the powerhouse. But I think this team is probably going to be. They're going to take it play by play, drive by drive, and if it happens that you're stacking multiple touchdowns on top of each other, then brilliant. And the defense is getting the stops, then that's always good. It's always good, and that's what we want.
I think if we blow somebody out, it's gonna be because the defense has multiple scores.
Rick, you just read my mind. I was gonna say this.
Okay.
You're talking about a team with Justin Fields who's gonna run first, and he's going against linebackers that are gonna be fast. And then this is the game. If you're gonna really take advantage, you take advantage of this team. Their line is shifty, is suspect. They have no
this game scares me, dude. This game scares me, and let me tell you why. Running quarterbacks tend to eat us alive.
Yes, if they play cushion coverage, absolutely. But this one, if you look at how,
this is where I would control the narrative by flushing him one way. So I kind of control. I'm not saying it's going to work because football's football, right? It never goes the way you exactly want it. But I would scheme it up so that I'm pushing him to go a certain way where there's somebody waiting for him rather than
exactly. And we have
obviously again he could still make a guy miss because he's a good runner of the field. But as long as you can. As long as you feel like you're in control of his movements rather than him feeling like he's in control.
But we struggle with that, man. Todd Bowles' defense struggles with that. We've seen it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we struggle with running quarterbacks because we play man coverage. Because no one's looking at the quarterback. They're all looking at their dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this would be
might be a game where zone coverage might be king.
And I agree with that. This is the game where you do it because you don't have receivers that can beat you, and then switch it up a little bit. But
you've always got to rotate.
Yeah, and Justin Fields is not going to want to keep getting hit because if he keep getting hit, Rick, he's not going to be as running. He does not want this Bucs team to hit him. If Devin White hits him, you already know Devin's going to do his best. Look at what he did to Kurt. He tried to slam Kurt into the dirt. I loved it, but if he hits
in the dirt.
But isn't it so Devin White he just had this great game. Now he's going to go in cocky and not have the right attitude.
I hope not.
Overconfident.
You never know with him. But hey, we still got past the Vassier.
Exactly. I hope not. But yeah, for me, guys, before I let you guys go, because I wanted to wrap this, give me I just want to ask this question. Right now, if you had for this game in Chicago coming up, what is the number one thing that you would like to see? It doesn't matter for the offense or the defense. Since you are a guest of honor, Rick, what do you want to see next week against the Bears?
Just keep running the ball. Just keep running the ball. Run the ball. Keep running the ball. Even if it's not successful, keep running it. It's not always rushing yardage that matters. Sometimes it is rushing attempts that matter. Keep running the ball.
I like it. I like that.
Thank you, Rick. Ricky, I know you when we last spoke, which was yesterday, that you're not got a timetable for when you guys are back. But do you think it's going to be this month?
I hope so. I hope so.
And if you ever need anybody, you know me and AJ are always ready for you.
And YouTube at Bucs Live, Facebook.com/Bucs Live, Twitter X, whatever the heck it is, Bucs Live. Just I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place, and man, as soon as you're back, let us know, and we'll promote the hell out of you guys. And
you better come on my show.
Absolutely,
for sure. You know it. You say I need you, Slick. I'm there. You say AJ. I'm sure AJ will be there as well. So
awesome.
Great.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore, my sir. And I will speak to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Hey, you too. And I'm gonna make it plain and simple. I just want you to get the ball to your weapons. Evans and Godwin is going to be this. That is your bread and butter, because then it opens it up for Palmer. And then for the defense, I just want to say, continue doing your thing and be dominant. But on that note, you guys, thank you again. You're chilling with the Aftermath on 102.9, the Game, Broad Street South Radio. And also you can find me, AJ Turnup, on my personal page on YouTube. It's about Buck and Time. I'm always there. And then also you got to get this good merchandise right here. Respect the process. Go to AJ Turnup and check out the link. And always go Bucks. Take care,
Go.
Slick. You be easy, my man.
You may close it down.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
close it down.
Close it down, brother. I'm out.
Catch you soon, bro.
Catch you soon, my man.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the show. So I will give my little estimation, and I'm going to do something that I've always done when we've had what's happened in the past with us. What I would do to my own team, and I'd say when you go on that grass, you start fast. Be relentless from the off. Don't give them nothing, but take everything because they will give it to you. It will be on offer. You just got to go take it. And if you're riding the pine, and you're not on the, you're a bench guy. You ain't a bench guy no more. You're an impact player. When you go out there, make a fucking impact, guys. That's it from me. You've been listening to the Aftermath on 102.9, the game Broad Street South radio, and they've been doing a great job of promoting us. So go check them out and all the shows that they got going on because they are some great guys. But for me, until you're going to see all our content. Me and AJ's got content coming out. We got content of this show that's we've been doing a little trailer for the show, and that comes out every time the game is finished. And we'll pop that out just to tease out what you could get in an episode of the Aftermath. That being said, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs.